In this episode, we beat into the wind along the north coast of Cuba. We arrive and tie up at Hemmingway Marina and then explore Old Havana in a classic Chevrolet car. Last time, on Sailing Balachandra, we enjoyed the beautiful deserted beaches and snorkeling at Cayo Largo, then sailed for the west coast of Cuba and into the Yucatan Channel, heading north for Havana. Hey everyone, if you're new to the channel, I'm Dan and my partner is Noel, and we are Sailing Balachandra. We sailed from Nova Scotia, Canada to the Caribbean back in 2019, and we are currently in Cuba. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, just go below this video, look for the big red subscribe button, and press that button. So we were stuck on the north coast of Cuba for another, God, it must have been 6 days waiting for another cold front to pass. We were getting pretty antsy stuck in this anchorage. There was nowhere to go to shore, nothing to do. It's like being on quarantine. We're just stuck there waiting for this like north wind to blow through. We saw gusts just over 30 knots and it was pretty consistent out of the northeast, which is the direction that we needed to sail. So today the wind is blowing kind of on an east-northeast, and we do have a sail angle, and we're going to sail along the northwest coast of Cuba heading for Havana today. So we'll see how far we can get. It seemed to take forever to reach Havana, beating to the northeast and stopping to rest along the way. We've finally made it from the west coast of Cuba all the way to Havana, and we're just approaching Havana and Marina Hemingway now, and that's where we'll be putting in tonight, and that's our last stop in Cuba. Basically, sailing from the west coast towards Havana, you're upwind the entire way, so you're beating. If a cold front comes in out of the north like it did with us, you pretty much just can't go anywhere and then you're stuck. So we sat on anchor for a while waiting for that to pass. Today it looked like we had really good weather. We had wind coming out of the southeast, which is ideal and fairly rare up here on the north coast so far, but we took advantage and we left. But it was really intense. On the weather that I got off windy.com, the ECMWF model, it said that we'd be getting 15 knots, maybe gusting to 21, but we actually experienced, and we're still getting it, like 18 knots gusting to 25 to 30 knots. So right now we're getting about maybe 20 gusting to 30, and we decided to keep sailing. We just have a scrap of jib out, that's it. And we're still doing 5 knots on a scrap of jib, which is crazy. But it was just too much to have all of that canvas out, and we were just getting beat to heck. We're rolling along, we're just getting close to Hemingway. We'll go tie up at the Garda dock and check in. Finally in Havana. Hemingway Marina is the only place in Havana where private yachts can go, check in, and tie up. You have to stay here in Hemingway during your entire visit to Havana, and there is nowhere else you can take your boat. However, power and water are free, and the rates are very low at 70 cents US per foot per night. Be careful when choosing your slip, as the dock wall is concrete, and there are underwater protrusions that stick out about 1.5 to 2 feet, which can be a hazard to some boats. Before the pandemic, the tiki bars on site and their concession store and restaurants were open. However, there's a pool on site, and supplies, rum, and cigars are still available at the end of the pier. We were fortunate enough to meet Steve, an Australian living in Cuba, who offered us a private tour of Havana in his fantastic, fully restored, retro classic Chevrolet car. How could we resist?
It's a scary, dark looking cloud, but it's...
Three missiles that you see are modified things which were supposedly nuclear tipped,
Right.
but they were drones back in the day. They were just like a rocket.
Oh, right.
But that other one is the full-blown Russian number.
These are actual Russian missiles from the Cuban Missile Crisis event, here on public display, along with wreckage from a U-2 spy plane. It's really cool to see these relics up close.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Havana Cuba is a mix of old Spanish fortifications and churches, buildings from the 17th and 18th centuries, and dotted with modern hotels, resorts, cafes, and restaurants.
Famous bar from the 1900s.
Really? Was it always called Sloppy Joe's?
The Opera House is one of the most beautiful buildings in all of Havana. It's a must-see if you plan to come here. The allure and romance of old Havana is irresistible. These streets are typically covered in tables and outdoor dining. Unfortunately, all gone now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While in Havana, be sure to visit Fustalandia, an entire neighborhood that became artist Jose Fusta's mosaic masterpiece, all completed using small fragments of colored tile, wrapping everything and covering themes from international to political to purely decorative. It is truly amazing to see and really worth the stop. We found Havana, Cuba to be just a beautiful location, and I think we'd like to go back there at some point, maybe by plane or maybe again by boat. If you can only visit one place in Cuba and you like history and fine dining and culture, and maybe you're not so much interested in visiting the resorts and the beach life, Havana is definitely the one place you have to check out. Of all the cities in Cuba that we've been to, Havana had the most in terms of culture and catering to tourists, purchasing vegetables and local products like cigars and rum. We were able to find those things in Havana. And even though the COVID-19 pandemic had a lot of things shut down, we were able to find some restaurants open, and there was accessibility for someone visiting Havana even now. But if you were choosing to visit Havana now or after COVID-19, I would choose to go after COVID-19 because there's a lot of culture and public things that you can do in Havana that are really worth checking out, especially the street cafes and the art galleries. There's a lot of stuff that we couldn't go into and see because of COVID-19. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and you haven't yet subscribed, just go below this video and look for the big red subscribe button and press that button. And if you want, you can leave a like or a comment below. And if you haven't checked out our Patreon page, it's always a good time to do so. Patreon is a place where you can give back if you like what we do and you want to support us. Thanks. See you later.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And what happens at night, no pandemic, it's so hot everyone comes out into the street in Old Havana.
Right.
And the street becomes like another room of the house. So they're out there and they're playing dominoes in the street.